The time that gold and silver are going to matter is when there's a collapse, when there's hyperinflation taking place in your country, when there's chaos in the streets, there's chaos in the financial sector, and knowing that the currency is completely helpless now and worth zero or near zero. The only thing that's going to matter at that point is gold and silver, because it is the only real money. And the only other thing that's going to really matter too is, do you have gold and silver? Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a great day today. I got to tell you, I'm more and more disturbed when I see what's happening in this country. And we got some numbers today that are concerning, but not shocking and not surprising. But holiday sales were up only 2.9%. The National Retail Federation reported that today. They were hoping to see forecasting 4.8%. So this was really short of what they were hoping to see. November sales were terrible. They were down. Retail November sales were down 1.5%, and that's brick and mortar and online sales. So that's pretty scary. We look at the markets today. Zero hedge. U.S. equities plunge after retail sales slump. Dow Jones was down 103 points today. Again, with everything that's going on, even 103 points negative is nothing. These markets should be getting hammered right now. No light at the end of the tunnel as new wave of retail stores close. This is another article in Zero Hedge. 6 weeks into 2019, United States retailers have announced 2,187 closings of physical stores. I mean, if this is a thriving economy, I'd hate to see a bad economy. People don't have the money to spend, and people do not spend as much as they used to because of the uncertainty. People are becoming more cautious. More people are starting to wake up. People are being much more conservative now with their money because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. All the political and social and economic uncertainty happening in this country, people are easing up with the spending. Not all, but there are people waking up. Bankruptcies are continuing at a rapid pace. We're talking about retail bankruptcies. The first 6 weeks of 2019, we are already at 1/3 of last year's total bankruptcies. I mean, to me, that's another red flag. When we see what's happening in the auto sector with sales, when we see real estate sales falling off of a cliff here, we see these retail numbers. You know, you don't have to have a super IQ. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but how many red flags do you need? How many alarms need to go off before you say, hey, maybe this isn't so good. Maybe I better look at some different avenues to protect myself. Maybe I better save some cash, maybe hold up on the spending. Maybe I don't need, these shiny little items right now. Maybe I need to save that cash. Maybe I need to take some cash, put it into precious metals. Maybe I better put some money away in an emergency fund because this economy is in very big trouble. Wait till something sets everything off. We are going to see literal economic chaos taking place here in America. Right now, nothing really bad has happened yet. Nothing bad has happened in Europe, but we're waiting for one of these freaking landmines to go off, and it's going to set off a lot of explosions throughout the globe. And you need to be prepared for this because it's coming without a doubt. Fourth quarter GDP estimates crashing down after disastrous retail sales. That's on Zero Hedge. You can check that out. Almost all this stuff is on Zero Hedge today. JP Morgan is forecasting, and this is not helping things. JP Morgan is forecasting fourth quarter GDP at 2%. That's down from the prior forecast that they gave of 2.6%. This comes after this morning's retail sales and retail inventories releases from the U.S. Census Bureau. Personal consumption expenditures growth fell from 3.7% to 2.6%. Not a healthy sign for a thriving economy. You know, we have people getting back to work. We do have wages increasing in some sectors. Things, I think, are heading in a better direction than they were a couple of years ago, without a doubt. But even with everything that is happening, even with everything Trump is trying to do, it is not going to be enough to pull this economy out of the drudges that we're in. We just passed $22 trillion of debt. We're seeing these retail numbers, we're seeing the auto numbers, we're seeing the student loan debt, we're seeing the household debt, we're seeing the corporate debt. Remember, we had literally 0% interest rates for a decade. We're still well below normal rates right now. We have supposedly a thriving economy. All these business analysts tell you that the economy is thriving. There's nothing to worry about. If there's nothing to worry about, why are we seeing this? U.S. retail sales collapse in December, biggest drop in a decade. That, again, is on Zero Hedge today. You can pull that up and check that out for yourself. Retail sales crashed in December. Breitbart today. So, you know, I don't know where the light is at the end of the tunnel, but we've got some serious we've got some serious issues economically here in America. They're going to have to be fixed. And with the amount of debt that we have in this country, I don't know how things can be fixed without a reset. I don't know where this is all going to lead to, other than a financial collapse here in America. And another reason why I truly believe, and you know, I know people out there are going to say I repeat myself a lot, it's doom and gloom. You know, listen, don't watch the channel. Not everybody is awake. Not everybody knows what's going on. Not everybody is educated on the different options there are to protect yourself. You know, this is very new for a lot of people. And if you have all the answers and you don't like the doom and gloom, then, you know, go watch cartoons. I am trying to wake up as many people as I personally can. I don't sell anything. I don't care what people do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing as an individual. I'm sharing, you know, my strategy, my experience. And, you know, I try to read as many of the comments that I can, because there's a lot of people out there much smarter than me. And, you know, I learn things from reading the comments, as do a lot of people out there who read the comments. You can watch the video, but you'll probably learn more by reading the comments. But, you know, this isn't doom and gloom. This is preparation. This isn't paranoia. This is preparedness. And I don't think you should go out, leave your house and go out the front door today and be paranoid and be scared of the world. I think people who are prepared are way less scared than people who are not prepared. And there's a lot of scared people out there because they can be in denial, but they know something's wrong. All they have to do is look at their paycheck. All they have to do is look at their bills. They're stretched. They don't know how they're going to pay their bills from week to week. Those people are scared. And that's why I'm telling you that you need to get prepared, so that you're not, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, or when a collapse does happen, that you're absolutely unprepared and going to be a casualty of a collapse. I'm telling you right now to make some sacrifices, maybe work a couple extra hours, maybe not go to that expensive dinner, maybe not take that weekend trip, maybe not buy that shiny piece of jewelry. Somewhere you have to cut some things out in your life to put away for a rainy day. Somewhere you have to make sacrifices. It's not fun, but you have to think of the long term. You got to think about tomorrow, next year, 5-10 years from now. That's why I'm so adamant about stockpiling and buying and acquiring precious metals. Things in the world are changing rapidly, and if you're not prepared, things are going to pass you by. And if you continue to put all your trust in the government, all your trust in the stock market, all your trust in these banks, you're going to lose. Egan von Grier's had an article, it came out maybe a day or two ago, I think maybe yesterday. And it's very interesting, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase here, but he said that most of the U.S. gold is probably in China and Asia as it was disposed or leased. The U.S. will never get this gold back. It is gone forever. Whatever we sold or leased is gone and is never coming back to the United States of America. And this is another reason why you must be your own central bank, why you must take responsibility for yourself, your financial security, your physical security, and your spiritual security. We as individuals must be responsible for us. Central banks are leasing to the LBMA banks who are selling to Asia. That gold is never coming back. The LBMA cannot make good on its commitment. The LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, they're giving central banks IOUs, which are worthless. He says that they will not find sufficient gold to hand back to the central banks. So these central banks are basically going to be holding these IOUs while China and Asia is holding all the gold, which they're never going to give back. So they may be leasing the gold to Asia and China, but China is never going to give it back. The LBMA is giving the central banks IOUs, basically promising them the gold back, but they're never going to get gold anywhere to replace those IOUs. This means that the central bank's vaults will be empty. They will remain empty, leading to a collapse of the country's currency as the world witnesses the price of gold surge like it has never done before. So we're going to see, he believes, that we will see historical prices in gold go to the moon. And of course, that will pull silver with it. And this is another reason why I will be purchasing silver in the next couple days, because again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to read what is truly going on across the globe and right here in America. And what's happening across the globe is going to affect America no matter what anybody wants to believe. But we have so many financial issues right here. Just look at the uncertainty, the political, the social, and the economic. There is no other time on planet Earth to prepare like that we've ever seen, that you need to be preparing for, than we're seeing right now. I don't know what more it takes for people to wake up, but when you see the amount of uncertainty politically, socially, and economically, I don't know how much more you need to see to wake up to say something's wrong. This whole thing is on borrowed time, and we're heading into big trouble. Every once in a while, I'll read in the comments and somebody will say, hey, you know, you guys have been saying this for 10 years. And I haven't been saying it for 10 years. I've been saying it for a couple years, but I can tell you somebody who lived through 2008, somebody who saw a lot of wealthy people get destroyed, a lot of wealthy people lose their multi-million-dollar homes. Living through that experience was an education, and it was a wake-up that anything is possible. And people were telling me right before it happened, everything's going to be fine. There was tons of construction going on. Builders were telling me things were booming, things were going great, and they were expecting the next 5 years to make more money, build more homes, and continue to live in this bull market. And it wasn't very long after that everything collapsed. But a lot of people just believe that this can never happen. We're going to continue to talk about this. We've been talking about it for years. What I think most people need to understand, the collapse already happened. It happened in 2008. It never got fixed. We've been in a collapse for going on 11 years now. And we have just basically been medicating the patient. This collapse took place in 2008. We stuck some Band-Aids on the gunshot wounds. We shot the patient with a lot of adrenaline, a lot of quantitative easing, a lot of printed money, a lot of manipulation, a lot of 0% interest rates, and we've kept this patient alive. This economy is on life support. It collapsed. It's been bedridden since 2008. So they can tell you whatever they want to tell you, but from what I experienced in '08, I didn't see a whole lot of improvements. Just imagine if we didn't have all this printed money, where we would be right now. But look at the destruction all this quantitative easing and printing money and 0% interest rates has gotten us into now. We're now $22 trillion in debt. So, and the debt is just spiraling out of control every second that I speak. And now we cannot even get back to normalized rates. Ask yourself this: if things are so great, how come we're at 2.5%? How can we not, and why can we not be at normalized rates right now? If the economy is booming, if things are so great, why are we not at normalized rates right now? Answer is we cannot be, because the economy is fragile, the economy is in bad shape, and they're afraid to even raise these rates another quarter basis points because they know exactly what's going to happen. We'll have another convulsion like we had in December, where we were having a meltdown, and we are literally, a quarter point, half point away from witnessing that take place again. I watched a video this morning, and I forgot who said it, but they gave a very good example, and they were talking about early 1960 dimes, and basically back around 1960, gas was like 30 cents, so 3 dimes would buy you a gallon of gas. And what's really interesting is if we fast forward to 2019, if you had three mercury dimes today, you could buy a gallon of gas with no problem. I could take it, sell it at a pawn shop, a coin store, eBay, whatever, get my money, and I could buy a gallon of gas. So isn't that amazing that, and also in some states, I could buy maybe a gallon and a half of gas with those 3 dimes. But isn't it amazing that those same little pieces of silver back in 1960 buys the same, if not more, today? And I think that that's something really, really interesting. And I think another thing is we have to have precious metals because it's going to preserve buying power. During a collapse, we're going to see metals skyrocket. And we're going to see other assets like real estate, automobiles plunge. And so you got to counterbalance things, that the amount of buying power that you're going to have having precious metals, in my opinion, what I believe is if we saw metals go up 1,000%, 500%, which is not even unthinkable because they're so suppressed right now. But, if metals went up 500%, 1,000%, which is not out of the realm of possibilities by any means. I'm being very conservative. And you look at housing coming down in a collapse, 50, 60, 70%. You have so much buying power. As the metals do this and everything else is doing this, you have an enormous amount of buying power. And I think we really have to think about that. It's another reason, not just for safety, but the amount of buying power precious metals are going to give you in a collapse, a time of collapse, is going to be enormous. So I'm going to conclude with this. With everything that I'm reading, everything that I've been listening to, things that I'm physically seeing going on in my area, I'm going to continue to be buying precious metals. And as I said earlier, I will be making another purchase in the next few days. I will be purchasing more silver. I will make this order with SD Bullion. I do like them. Check my link down below. You can order right off that link. They've got some sales going on right now. They've got some really good deals. So I will be probably buying a variety of different coins. People ask me, should I just buy eagles or should I buy rounds? And to me, silver at the end of the day is silver. I think you should have some eagles if you live here in America. So I think I would definitely have some amount of Eagles, but I truly believe that you should diversify with a variety of different type of coins, rounds, and especially sizes. I like 1 ounce, I like ½ ounce, ¼ ounce, and 1/10 ounce. I like junk silver also, that's all US minted, and mercury dimes because they're small increments. So those are, to me, the way to go is to have a good amount of junk silver, especially mercury dimes, and then, you know, have a decent amount of silver eagles in your portfolio, and then have a decent amount of other government minted coins and rounds. Mix it up. And that's what I think I'll do on this order, is maybe I'll buy some government minted coins and some rounds and do it like that. But again, everything is cheap and available right now. When this thing hits, and I promise you it will hit, and I'm not saying it's going to hit tomorrow or next week. I don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, or 5 weeks from now. But nobody can afford to be late and unprepared. So get prepared, take advantage of the opportunities while there's availability. Prices are still extremely cheap. Cut out, you know, going to Starbucks for a couple days and go buy yourself an ounce of silver. Guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get the newest video. I really do appreciate all the letters, all the donations, and all the positive, good words. And listen, even the negative, I don't, you know, I don't deny anybody free speech. And I know that there's some people out there that are idiotic. But you know what? You still have an opinion. I still believe you have free speech, and we still want to hear what you have to say, whether it's positive or negative. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. Make sure you're stacking.